Hey everybody, Shopping Nobody Else's Auto. We got some more new inventory to check out tonight. Some inventory that a lot of you guys probably would even wonder why it's here. But it's kind of crazy to think that 1985 was 40 years ago, and these cars are antiques in, I think, about any state in the country at this point. 1985 and 1987 Mercury Grand Marquis. Now, obviously not the most popular car in the collector car world. However, there's still a lot of these cars out there that are nice, clean originals. And what happens if somebody backs into one or one gets damaged? A lot of these cars didn't get saved. A lot of these parts going to be extremely difficult to find. If these things go to the shredder, none of it's left. So I went ahead and bought them. They came on a bulk deal of 20-some vehicles, and we brought them in and added them here to the yard. So let's take a few minutes and check them out. This one in 1987. Front wheels are gone, but other than that, it's pretty much intact. You can see the hood's up on this one, so let's take a peek under here. There again, the original 5-liter, fuel injected, pretty basic Ford powertrain in a lot of this mid to late 80s stuff. Ford cranked these out in everything because they were a good engine and they did the job. Both these cars really pretty straight. Neither one of them are crashed, banged up. And like I said, not the most desirable cars in the world, but they're here. The trim is all here. The lights are all here. This one's still got the wire hubcaps on the back. In fact, the rest of them are here in the back seat of the original wire caps with the center caps. The Grand Marquis badging on the side. As we work our way around the back, we see the lights are still in them, a couple of chips in them, but they're intact. Let's grab the keys, take a peek in the trunk. See what we got back here. Murdy Motors, Hoisington, Kansas. Another local car. Hoisington's just 6-8 miles right up the road from the yard. So this car's never ventured very far the way it looks. There's the transmission, so the transmission must be out of it. Jack's still there. There's the drive shaft, so I assume that that all came out of this car. Spare tire cover. Still got the little trunk surround with a little Mercury badge in it. And over here on the driver's side, kind of more of the same thing. It's here. That's the important part. It's intact. Inside, as with most Grand Marquis, power windows, power locks, power seat. Fairly well loaded with options. Dash is intact, all just original stock old mid-80s Ford stuff. And a lot of these cars, just like all this stuff on the front, these things get bumped in the front. These are fiberglass header panels, plastic grills. This stuff isn't going to survive even in the slightest collision. And that's kind of the same thing we've got with the 85 here. It's intact and it's here. And when they're gone, they're gone. That's why I went ahead and hauled them in. Once again, just like the 87, this front is all still here. It's not busted up. A lot of good stuff there. Coming around the other side, this one was kind of fancy looking. It had a two stripe, a red stripe down the side of it against this kind of a charcoal color. This car had factory aluminum wheels on it. But essentially these cars are very, very similar. Not many changes at all between the 85 and the 87. We come around the back, once again, it's pretty much here, except we are missing our little trunk lock surround on the back of this one. Let's grab the keys and take a peek in the trunk of this one. And once again, there's our bumper jack. Here's our wheel centers, old license plates. There's our Mercury wheel centers for these wheels. Very similar to the ones the Lincolns used, only these actually had a Mercury center in them. So specific to the Mercury. Amico Motor Club, check this out. The Amico Motor Club sticker on the back of this one, definitely a throwback piece. And once again, over here, kind of almost the same as the 87, only this car has a burgundy interior in it. Once again, all the power, the standard mid-80s dash that a lot of these cars had. But these were really pretty luxurious, just a step below the Lincoln, with almost kind of the crushed velvet type interior. And once again, like the 87, this stuff is all here. It's all intact. And once these things are flat, none of it's good for anything. So anyway, a lot of people would look at these and ask, why are they here? Why would you bring them in? Why would you save them? Well, that's the exact reason. What happens when they're all gone? And you're going to say nobody's going to restore an 85 Grand Marquis. Well, there could be some truth to that, but there is some people that may have a family car they want to restore, or like I mentioned earlier, there's still a lot of cars from the 80s out there that are nice, clean originals that didn't lead a real hard life. What happens when one of those cars gets backed into, you know, and breaks a header panel or breaks a grill out of it or hits a bird and breaks a grill out of it? You know, this stuff isn't going to be around if it all gets crushed. So even though I know a lot of you guys are going to look at this and say, why in the world would you bring mid-80s Grand Marquis in for inventory? Well, that's where things are coming. 80s cars are now old, and a lot of this stuff was never saved. Who remembers cash for clunkers? This is the type of stuff that went. And a lot of it is, I think, going to be harder to find. So when I've got the opportunity, if I can buy them to where I can afford to bring them in here and store them for inventory, and hopefully somebody down the road is going to be able to use a piece off of them, great. That's exactly why they're here. So if you've got any questions about these Mercuries or any of the other 2000 cars and trucks we got here on the ground at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. That number is in the description part of the video as well. Be happy to have a conversation with you about your project or what you're looking for a project. Year, make, model, body style, the parts you need, all that stuff is important to me. With the amount of cars and trucks I've got here on the ground, I need specifics, so when I get out here, I know exactly what I'm looking for. It's a pretty broad spectrum with a couple thousand cars on 20 acres, so as much information I can get from you is super important. Texts, emails, smoke signals, none of that stuff ever works. Just give me a call. Be happy to have that conversation and see if I can help you out. So if you like old cars, you like old trucks, we've got a lot of cool stuff here. C50, 48 F4, cab over Ford, mobile oil fuel delivery truck, and what the heck, even an airplane. Why not, right? We got a pretty diverse collection here, so be sure to check out the channel. We got a lot of cool content on there. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up that you guys aren't going to want to miss. I've had a ton of cool new inventory hitting the ground. Really cool old limousine that I think is pretty funky. You guys will probably question my sanity when you see it, but I think it's pretty funky. 70 Caprice, Fairlane GT convertible. Just a ton of stuff hitting the ground. Some killer old Dodge pickups, a lot of neat stuff. So click that subscribe button, click that notification button. We do a lot of cool live stuff on here as well. You don't want to miss any of our live chats because we have a great group. We have a ton of fun on there as well. So anyway, even though I know some of you are still questioning my sanity, they're here, they're in the row, and they're here when somebody needs a bit and piece off of them because they're not flat. So anyway, I still hope you enjoy the Mercuries a little bit, and hopefully it makes a little more sense to you as to why they're here, but that's why they're here. So stay tuned. We obviously got a lot more cool stuff coming up. You don't want to miss any of it. Click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching this video, and we sure hope to see you soon on the next one.